Today we are going to be building a folio that is a Valentine folio, but let me tell you this, we loved this set so much that our designer went in and got rid of the 214, so this doesn't have to be just a Valentine's folio. It can actually be used all through the year for you and your significant other. We're going to be creating our cover. We're going to be covering the inside of the cover, and then we'll be building our signatures as well. So let's get started. So for the cover, I printed out one cover and one extension, and we're going to put these together like this. But I think what I want to do first is add the inside piece. When I put the two together, I can actually just put this into the inside here. Usually what I like to do, and I forgot about it when I was preparing for today, but I usually like to just take the whole sheet of paper and then glue them together first and then cut them out. But that's not how I'm going to do it today because I jumped the gun. I think at this point I am going to add some glue to the back here. And it's not going to go all the way up onto the flap. It's just going to go into the straight part, I guess you could say, not the curved part. And today I am using a Yuhu stick, strong and fast glue stick. Well, I don't know, maybe it isn't meant for crafting, but I see a lot of crafters use it, those that use glue sticks, and I really like it a lot. Feels kind of silly to, you know, do a project like this with a glue stick when there are so many good glues around, but in a lot of ways a glue stick works a little bit better than just like regular glue. Oops. And so I want to glue this only so it only covers the solid part. We're going to match this pink right here up to the pink underneath. So when I'm gluing any kind of glue together, I mean any kind of paper using whatever kind of glue, I really like to use a brayer to get it all down. And I'm going to do it on both sides because I want to get all the bubbles out and things like that. I really like my covers to lay flat as I can get it. And when I'm using liquid glue, I have a harder time with that. I think I cut these a little bit short. I don't think that they are actually this short in the set. I was cutting a lot of things at the same time. And so here we've got our cover. Isn't it adorable? I want to go ahead and score this. One thing I need to do though is to cut off this little 1/4 inch piece, and the reason for that is because they're designed to be able to be used on the outside cover or on the inside. But when you use it on the inside, you're going to want to make sure that it's cut short enough that it will fold in onto itself. This kind of thing happens sometimes, just with any kind of junk journal project. You know, they're not perfect. They're going to be as perfect as your skills are, which I'm not saying that mine are perfect at all. I know they're not, and that's okay with me. Now I've got it fixed. So now got my first panel, second panel, and now I want to do my third panel. And when you fold these that have like an inside and an outside piece of paper or cardstock, you're going to notice that you're going to get a lot of wrinkles on the inside. And that's okay, because we're just going to cover it all up with stuff. A lot of times when we do this, sometimes it'll feel like it looks a little wonky in here because it's so open. But I do that all the time, and I believe Ezra, who created this one, I believe Ezra also does it for that reason, that, you know, we add so much more embellishment pieces to this that we really want to make sure that you have enough space to store whatever you don't use. And so here's our inside right now. There's a little bit of wrinkles. That always happens to mine because I like to line the inside. If you don't line the inside, that won't happen. But I always do, and so, you know, I get the wrinkles. We have got a bunch of embellishments that Ezra has created. We've got these pockets, and you'll see that I haven't yet cut out this part here. I like to just use a punch for that. I'm absolutely not the best about cutting with scissors along a line like that, so I just like to use a punch. The next thing to do with the pockets is to go ahead and score right here on each of the lines, because all these are flaps that will go underneath it. I love doing Ezra's projects because he has a perspective that is different. I mean, and it makes sense because he's Gen Z and I'm a Gen X. So, you know, I love that, you know, when different generations can come together and really enjoy each other's work. Or anything, company, whatever. I guess I just like to be a person that relates to younger people. I am 56, 57 now. Anyways, I was born in 1967, so yes, it looks like I am 57 now. I really do still feel like a teenager in my head, so, you know, kind of a little bit of that vibe. I'm not going to say that I am like a cool old person, but what I am going to say is that I do enjoy people of all kinds and all generations, and that I just love people, and that includes you. These are pretty standard pockets that you will receive when you buy one of our kits. We can put these here and here, and I really kind of like that whole uniform look, you know what I mean? Or I guess you could call it, it would be better described as symmetrical. I really like symmetry, so I think I'm going to do that. But when you get your copy of this kit, you do it however you want to do it. And so if you can see down here, I've got kind of a gap right here. And I'll show you how I deal with stuff like that. You absolutely do not need to do it that way. But I'm a little artsy-fartsy, so I kind of like to, you know, use my my artist's hand, you know, to do something down here. And I'll probably do that next time. This one's pretty big. If I wanted to, I could just cut it down. I love the Polaroid aspect of this, but oh, this is, maybe I'll do this, because then we'll have plenty of space to add like our little envelopes and stuff in. And I'm going to call this cover done for now, but isn't it adorable? It is kind of fiddly. All of these folios are, because if, you know, it feels like if you don't get them 100% right, you know, you end up with some issues, but you know what? No junk journal or folio is perfect. It really has to do with my skill level, you know, and my skill level isn't always the best. And so what happens with me because of that is that I have learned a lot of ways to improvise my project and to make it look okay. So these are all these adorable pages. I just love this idea so much, and was sad to see that Valentine's Day came and went so quickly. Ezra decided to go ahead and create a set of covers that don't have the Valentine's Day, because these are all like little journal pages. So this one says, on my favorite date, we went to, talked about, listened to, learned, and laughed about, and then describe one thing about this date for each sense: sight, touch, smell, taste, sound, and include a drawing or photo from your favorite date. And I just think that is so cute. And so there is enough places for you and your significant other to fill out. These actually are the inside cover pieces that you can also use. So Ezra's provided us with quite a bit here. You know, do every other page or something with the blank ones. That way more can be written if it needs to be. This is kind of how I like to do it. Put the lined and the plain, you know. Ooh, this barely is gonna fit. I think I'm gonna go ahead and make sure it does. So this is just a regular Swingline stapler. If you want to use a stapler, you just want to make sure that the staples will go, and this one didn't, but the staples will actually go right on here. If you don't have a stapler like that, it's really no problem. What you can do is you can do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. The other thing you can do is to use some elastic string, and I like to measure out about 2.5 times what it seems I'm gonna need. So we're definitely gonna need 2 times, because it has to go here and wrap around here, and then it needs to be tied. I am going to actually thread the cover into this and just scooch it right over to where I want it. Okay. So now when I open this up, oops, or when I close it up, I should say, I do have a lot of room left for, you know, to have this in here. And as we fill this up, things are going to look a little bit less wonky, but we're going to do that next time. So stay tuned, come back next week, and you can watch me finish this up. Thanks for being here with me, and I'll see you next week. Bye.